Hi everyone, welcome to the session. I am M. Ganesan, Assistant Professor, IT Department of Hindustan College of Engineering and Technology. In this session, I am going to talk about software process models. In this session, I am going to talk about what is process model, what are the activities performed in process model, the different types of process models, waterfall model, incremental process model, evolutionary process models, and finally we compare all the models. Process model. We use process model to develop the high quality software. So the software model defines a set of activities, actions, tasks, milestones, and the work products that are required to produce high quality software. The activities may be linear, incremental, or evolutionary. The 5 activities are performed to produce a very good software. Number 1, communication. Number 2, planning. Number 3, modeling. 4, construction, and deployment. Communication. It is the first step of the software development because in this step we communicate and collaborate with the customer. The software developer communicate with the customer and get all the requirements for the software development. Then only the developer can understand the objective of the stakeholder. Number 2, planning. So planning is the second step of the software development. Here the planning is a map. It is called the software project plan. It defines the software engineering work by describing the technical tasks to be conducted and the risks that are likely happened and what are the resources that will be required for the software development and what are the work products. It means the results, what are the results expected by the customers. So these are all should be planned in the second activity. So it is the step 2. In step 3, modeling. It is nothing but a sketch. You have to draw a sketch for a software development. It is like designing the software development. So after getting all the requirement from the customer, you have to make design of the software. Like for the building constructor, they have to design the building, before constructing the house. Like that, you have to design the software. It is called modeling. Step 4 is construction. The construction, so after design the software, make use of the designing, you have to make coding. Coding, this the software developers, they created coding using the high level languages, C, Java, C++. These are all high level languages used to create a code. So this is called construction. And deployment, it is the final step of the software development. The software is delivered to the customer after completing the project. Who evaluates the delivered product and get the feedback from the customer and do some corrections based on the feedback. So this is the step 5, deployment. So these are all the 5 steps or 5 stages of software development. Types of process model. Number 1, waterfall model. Number 2, incremental process model. Number 3, evolutionary process models. In evolutionary process model, 2 types of evolutionary process models, prototyping and spiral model. So we will see waterfall model. So this is the oldest model. In this model, the 5 activities are performed linear manner. First, communication. After completing the communication, go for planning. After planning, modeling. After that, construction, and then finally deployment. So all these 5 activities are linearly performed. First, we will see communications. In the communication, 2 activities, mainly the project initiation and gathering requirements. These two process will be done in the communication. After communication, go for planning. In the planning, you have to estimate the amount. So what will be the amount required for the project and how to perform all the tasks. It is called scheduling. And then finally tracking. These three processes will be done in the planning. Next, modeling. So after plan all the activities, we will go for modeling. Here modeling, analysis and design part will be taken place in the modeling. So after modeling, we construct the software. That is, in the construction phase, two things has to be done. First one is programming, it is coding. Second one, testing. All the testing will be done in the construction. Finally, deployment. It is the delivery of the software and getting the feedback for the quality purpose. Now, all these activities are performed linear manner, so it is called the waterfall model. In waterfall model, we have some problems. Number one, we have to follow the sequential flow. So all the steps should be sequential only. Number two, very difficult for the customer to state all the requirements explicitly, because in this sequential flow, the customer need to give all the requirements initially. Okay, so we cannot change the requirements in the middle of the phase system. Now, the customer must have a patience till you get the result at the end of the project. So we cannot do any changes in the middle of the, so it is the major disadvantage of the waterfall model. Incremental process model. In this model, a project is divided into n number of increments, each increment done in parallelly. So it is called parallel and sequential process model. Here increment, for take increment 1. So first it will communication, planning, modeling, construction and deployment. So all these stages are sequentially performed. Then delivery of the first increment. Meanwhile, you start the second increment at the parallel to the construction phase. So while doing the construction phase of the first increment, you start the second increment. Here again the communication, planning, modeling, construction, deployment. So here the increments will be done parallelly. So it is called parallel and sequential process model. How to choose the increment number 1? So first increment will be the core element. So let us see an example. For example, we'll take the office software. First increment will be the basic file management, basic editing features and basic document product functions. And the second increment will be more sophisticated editing document production capabilities. And third increment will be spelling and grammar checking. And fourth increment will be advanced page layout capabilities. Like this, so you have to select the increment initially and we have to perform all the increments. Evolutionary model, it is a combination of iterative and incremental model of software development life cycle. Evolutionary model is commonly used when the customer wants start using a core features alone, instead waiting for a full software. There are two commonly evolutionary process models used are number 1 prototyping, number 2 process model. Prototyping process model. In this model, the developer communicates with the customer, make a plan, make a design, construct the project, deliver to the customer. So while delivering, the product should be, you have to create a prototype. It is a blueprint. So that blueprint is given to the customer and get the feedback. If he is not satisfied with the prototype, then go again communication, plan, modeling, construction and deployment. So this process will be repeatedly till the customer satisfied. The spiral model. In this model, we start with the communication, then planning. In planning, in addition to the estimation and scheduling, risk analysis will be done here. In the risk analysis, the customer and the developer, they identify what are the risks may be happened in the project, and according to that they follow all the modeling, construction, deployment, everything. So, and in the deployment phase, get the feedback from the customer, and if the customer is not satisfied, again start communication with the customer, planning, modeling, construction, deployment. So this will be repeatedly till you get the final product. This is a spiral. Project models comparison. Waterfall model is a model. It is a sequential model. This model is used when the developer well understood the customer requirements problems, and it is applicable for the small type of projects, and these projects having less risks. Prototyping model is model used when the customer requirements not well understood by the developer, and it is for small and medium sized applications. Use this model. Spiral model, it is very flexibility and risk handling, and it is very complex model. This model can be used when the technically challenging and large complex softwares can use this spiral model. Thank you for watching this video.